Now, Good Morning Maryland at 9.
It is 9:30 on this Tuesday morning. With our country in the midst of a recession, uncertainty would be the word many would apply to their job or their financial state. So how do we go about managing our own money and doing it correctly? Moreover, where can we go if we're doing it incorrectly? Well, this morning, Congressman Elijah Cummings is holding a town hall meeting Thursday night. He's going to be joined by Elizabeth Warren, providing you with the information you need to know to be most useful. Congressman joins us this morning in studio. Sir, thank you for your time this morning.
It's good to be with you.
We were talking off break, off camera a moment ago, talking about the fear that exists right now in our country, because when the individual starts thinking about money and finances and budget, things you guys are dealing with on the federal level, when they think about their own money, they're especially frightened right now.
Yeah, they are very frightened. You got to remember, part of this recession was caused by predatory lending. There were people who were getting what's called no-doc loans. There are people who have seen their interest rates on their credit cards go up overnight without hardly any notice. And people have limited funds. So they're really afraid and very concerned. And so one of the things that Elizabeth Warren, who of course is a special assistant to the president, has done is she's been basically the architect of creating this Consumer Protection Bureau, this federal bureau. And it came out of Dodd-Frank. And basically what it's to do is to help people know before they owe. That's one of their new programs. They want to provide transparency with regard to some of these complicated loan documents. I don't know whether you've ever done a mortgage, but when you sign all these papers, and 95% of them people don't even understand. So she's been able to simplify those things and trying to make the process of dealing with banks and dealing with money one that is a much more simpler process, and one whereby people can feel a level of comfort, even with the fear.
With the fear, exactly. Being able to manage it right now, I think, is one of the biggest things, because you said it's a lack of education that exists on many consumers' parts, because someone will say, here's a credit card with a $10,000 limit.
Right.
And they don't see the fine print that it's a 22% interest rate.
That's right.
And they max it out.
Right.
So the transparency, I think, is a very important key right now with what we're doing, trying to educate people. How do people join? Where can they go? And I mean, is this going to be a question and answer session with you and Mrs. Moore?
Yeah, very good question. It's going to be, she basically has been traveling the country trying to find out what people are most concerned about, so that she can make sure that she's addressing the needs as they put this agency together. Yeah, it'll be a town hall. As a matter of fact, she's made it clear she first wants to hear from them. She wants to hear from my constituents and the people that appear there at the Enoch Pratt Library on Thursday. And then she's going to react to them. Sure. She's going to answer questions. It's going to be interactive. And it's going to, I mean, keep in mind, Elizabeth Warren is one of the most brilliant people probably in the world. She's been named twice by Time Magazine as one of the most influential people in the world. So it's very exciting to have her here.
Now, to that, what are your constituents saying these days to you?
What they're saying is, Congressman, we're worried. We're worried. They're afraid to go out and even try to get a mortgage because they think that they may be cheated. A lot of them are concerned about the rates, the credit card fees. You got to remember that there are literally billions of dollars collected by banks in fees. And they feel as if they're the little guy and they have no power. And so basically this is about trying to give them the power. Banks cannot be successful unless they have consumers depositing and dealing with them. And so there's a two-way street. We want the banks to do well, but we also want the consumers to do well.
Does that set up, though, an adversarial relationship between the consumer and the bank, one thinking the other's out to get them and the other being afraid that there's not going to be that mutual service?
You know, the fact is that what Elizabeth Warren is doing is trying to get rid of that adversarial relationship. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that she's been doing has been in cooperation with the banks. The banks have been helpful with her in changing all those forms that I talked about, those mortgage forms and things of that nature. So hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to get to a point where there's more transparency, the banks win, the people win, and everybody benefits. And that's what she's aiming at.
It seems like right now in the political state, what you were just saying, sort of an everyone wins philosophy, an everyone wins approach, it seems like right now with what we're seeing and hearing coming out of Capitol Hill right now, that seems so far away. because
does.
it seems like there's a real battle going on up there amongst our legislators.
There's no doubt about it. There is a tremendous battle, and that's something that I worry about. I think we're dealing with this debt ceiling vote that's coming up very soon, and there is an effort, I think, on the part of Republicans to protect the big banks. Democrats trying to protect the banks, but at the same time trying to protect the people and have this balance. We're going to get through this, but it's going to be very difficult.
Now, if you don't mind, real quickly, we asked some of our viewers this morning to write in by Facebook for some questions for you.
Sure.
And if you have a moment, we'll take two of those.
I'd be happy to.
All right. Brian writes in this morning asking the congressman to refuse to support much-needed spending cuts in the budget process. The question from Brian being, why do you refuse to support those cuts?
Oh, no, I have no problem with cuts. I've said that all the time. I just think that we need to cut with the skill of a heart surgeon as opposed to somebody going out and chopping down a cherry tree. Because a lot of people are hurting very badly with these cuts, and they're usually our most vulnerable. At the same time, we're getting big tax cuts to the richest of the rich and giving oil companies who are making billions tax subsidies and things of that nature. So no, I believe in the cuts. I think we have to do that. But I think it has to be balanced. It's just like a family budget. You balance it very carefully. You don't cut off your future. You just make sure that you make those cuts that are appropriate so that you can sustain yourself.
All right, real quickly, another question. Arietta says, why do you think, Congressman, our current mayor is still the best choice to lead Baltimore City?
Because first of all, she's competent. She's honest. I've known her for many years. She's a true leader. She doesn't tell you what you want to hear. She tells you what you need to hear. And again, she took, on a local level, she took our budget and dealt with it in a very effective and efficient way. Our education system is doing fine, our police, our firemen. So she made the cuts. If we could do what the mayor did on the local level, we could do it on the federal level, we'd be fine. It was a balanced approach, just like you would approach a family budget. And I just see her as a very competent young woman, and she is it's a new generation of leadership that comes forward, and I think that she's prepared to do that.
You mentioned the balanced approach. We have about 30 seconds here for you. Some states have balanced budget amendments in their constitution. Could you see a day when our federal government would introduce a balanced budget?
I would hope so. I would hope we would get to that point. Of course, Maryland has a balanced budget approach, and it works. The problem is that we're so far in debt. I think that's going to be a long ways off.
A long way away.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real battle up there, sir.
Yeah, because a lot of the money is spent just paying our debt.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time. This is going to be on our website, abc2news.com, coming up shortly. Megan.